Okay, so here's a thought that has been rolling around in my head this week. It's a theory or a method that I kind of didn't even realize that I use. So I really often get this question. When you're working with medium close-up to close-up shots, dramatic or even complex comedy, how do I take those subtleties from the video that I'm watching or the idea that I have and turn that into blocking? How do I find acting beats? My answer is surprisingly something really simple. Use the eye movement as your guide for changes in thought and changes in emotion. I do start with a broader palette and I look at the overall body attitudes of the character. Are they leaning towards who they're talking to? Are they leaning away? Are they twisted? Are they engaging them straight on? Are they open, closed? Really look at that head, shoulder, neck relationship. As thoughts progress through the brain, our eyes tend to move with them. They tend to dart. They tend to change different directions. Are they engaged with the person they're talking to? Do they disconnect and go internal? Do they search between the thoughts that they have in their head? Do they scan the images that are in their imagination? All of this is clear delineations of changes in thought and emotion, even in the most subtle ways. Here's a scene that I look at a lot in class. This is from a movie called Happiness, and it's the most intense and subtle acting delivery I could think of at the time. And the characters, as they look at each other, they begin the scene, they're barely moving. And that's the story, is their paralysis. But as the excitement grows, as their desire to have to address each other, the eye movement begins to increase. Each one of those pieces of eye movement symbolize a change in thought. They symbolize a change in emotion. And if I were to pick these out and I were to start blocking them, not only would it lead me through the narrative that I'm trying to tell, it would also create the rhythms that I want to create. So I find that a really cool scaffolding, like an armature that you can build, that then as you begin to polish it, you've already got this rhythmic and an emotional journey that the characters take in this very subtle way. Now this can also work in really complex comedy. I worked on a scene a long time ago in Monsters vs. Aliens where I was delivering this joke. The broad changes of attitude were clear in mock confidence, and then he goes into this cocky delivery of the joke, and then instant insecurity, and then finally defeat. And inside of that, there were all of these little moments where he was stepping on what are almost like lily pads in a pond, to try to get to, as he's changing thoughts and changing opinions about what's coming out of his mouth and what the other people in the room might be thinking, and he looks around looking for help, like, come on, somebody save me, and nobody saves him, and he finally goes into a static moment of defeat. So as I went in to block it, you can see that I ended up putting in a pose for each one of these eye movements. The acting beats, the changes that I wanted to establish and communicate, all were based around what those big ping pong ball eyes were doing, where they were looking, when they were open, when they were closed, when they were internal, when they were external, each person that he looked at, and then finally, just the 1,000-mile stare and the defeat. So what's funny about it is I never really thought about that's what I was doing. And it really just occurred to me this week. So I thought it would be a cool idea just to kind of lay that out there. And next time you find yourself with a level of complexity in drama or a level of complexity in comedy, I suggest starting there. It might not work every single time, but it's a good foundation to grab onto and, like I said, use as your framework. So hope that helps, and I'll see you on the next one.